Happy Hump Day, everybody.
The music there.
He did a little bit. Happy Hump Day, everybody, and welcome to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. Sorry, we're just a minute late. Andy's got somebody out there vacuuming his hallway, and we didn't think you guys needed to hear that.
It's done now. I'm excited. It's going to be clean out there now. So I'm happy. We're happy. Basketball went okay yesterday. Tennis is canceled. Like we'd love to have a whole mess of tennis. I actually played the Arena Big U over. I got a little sweaty, so I stopped watching it, and I waited until I saw that she won the second set, and then I looked and it was in a tiebreaker, so it was never in doubt. Obviously, once you get to 5-5, it was fine. So I was happy to take one winner away from there. But yeah, explain why you won't have tennis picks today. It's not just you being a dick.
No, I would love to give you guys some tennis, but unfortunately, as we've talked about a couple times, everybody is in Melbourne. When tennis decided to get everybody down in Melbourne, get them quarantined for a week or two, and then you kind of have almost a little bit of a bubble down there in Australia, which has been pretty good about COVID so far. They've been playing tournaments this week, and apparently, this is tough because they're on the other side of the world. I guess late last night their time, or maybe even early this morning their time. I don't know. But about 8 to 10 hours ago, someone who works in the hotel staff apparently tested positive for COVID. So there will be no tennis for about 24 hours at least here, while they get everybody kind of locked down. They start pushing everybody through testing and then try to figure out what to do from a contact tracing standpoint. Again, it's similar to kind of what the NBA tried to do, but on a much larger scale. You have more people over a much larger area. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to be optimistic and think we probably push things back a day or two. It probably does put the start time for the Australian Open next week in jeopardy. We're supposed to start the Australian Open on Monday. My guess is that gets pushed back a little bit so they can finish these tournaments and give everybody some time to kind of get clean, if you will. It's not the best situation in the world, but we got to do what's right to keep everybody healthy, and I'm sure we'll figure it out, Andy.
There's a lot of money, like, just without being too crass, there's a lot of money at stake. It's one of the four majors. It's a massive boon for that economy. Even without the fans, it's important for them. They want to have this, even though they're very strict with the COVID-19 restrictions, and they're also very proud of what they've been able to manage down there in that area of the world. So I think it's still on, but yeah, if it gets pushed back, and they're very pragmatic about all this. I think they say, like, everybody's down here. If we have to push things back or tighten up the schedule for the Aussie, so be it. So hopefully we get that, because there's 3 good rounds of qualification. It's a massive tournament. There's a ton of tennis to be bet on there, men and women. So that's a fun tournament. Obviously the first big one. So no tennis today, but we do have some basketball. I will have some golf later. I'll just do it. I'll start. I only have one basketball game. Tulane, the Green Wave. Somebody I bet on a lot early in the season, especially when they hadn't played a lot. A lot was unknown. I was trying to base it off priors. Right now, we kind of know where they're at. They're a decent team. The AAC is a bit of a jumbled mess. Obviously, Houston is very good. Houston is very, very good. But there is this, like, secondary, if you want to call it, like, a secondary echelon of the AAC with a whole mess of the teams. And with no doubt, Wichita is, clearly in that spot. I just can't get this out to almost 4 possessions. I have this closer to like 8 or 9. So this, I thought I saw an 11.5 at one point. So I only got 11 on this. I think you can probably go out and find that if you want. Tulane doesn't do some things great. In fact, they're not a great offensive team. They're not a good shooting team. There's a few things they do to extend possessions, get extra possessions. They're a really good free throw shooting team. I think they're the best free throw shooting team in the conference, but hopefully they can keep it close here. That's my only look for tonight.
I like that. I'll look at all those little categories. That's the stuff that you really want from an underdog, so they can keep it close at the end. There's nothing worse than having somebody plus a whole bunch of points that can't sink a few free throws late to get it close.
Oh, yeah. No, and somebody asked about the golf bets. I'll probably do that after basketball. We'll get into it. Is a decent NBA slate, and by decent, I know sometimes I'm not speaking of quality. I'm speaking of there's a shitload of games.
There are a shitload of games. There's a few games that are pretty good. I was able to find some picks. I mean, to maybe hit on some other games. Indiana, Milwaukee should be fun. Lean Milwaukee there, but I'm not going to lay the points. Dallas, Atlanta is probably going to be like some sort of glorious disaster of basketball. That could be a lot of fun. Lean Atlanta there, but won't be doing anything there. Clippers, I expect them maybe to rest somebody against Cleveland. So wait and see there. Washington, Miami. Miami's got everybody back, so we'll see if they can put it together or if Bradley Beal's going to score 1,000,000 points again. New York, Chicago, almost bet the over there, but again, not the number I like. Chicago games have been so low scoring. I'll stay away from that. Minnesota, San Antonio, we'll wait and see what's happening on Karl Anthony Towns. And then Boston, Sacramento, kind of like Boston there. I'll probably circle back on that later again when I see who's healthy. But we do have 3 actual bets in the other games, Andy. We'll start with a side. My Philadelphia 76ers are playing the Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to lay the 7 points here. Joel Embiid should be playing tonight. I thought he would play the other night, but instead took a game off. So he's had a nice 3-day rest here. Should come in and have just a fantastic game. You know, if you're using DFS, if you're looking for player props, I'm going to spend some time looking into him this afternoon. This is a great matchup for him. Charlotte really does not have anybody from a big man perspective. Charlotte has been kind of an overachieving team as I've looked back. So I've been looking at the last week or so for opportunities to play against them. At the same time, results have been really favoring underdogs lately, so I'm kind of waiting for a favorite buyback, but this is a spot even without all that stuff. I make the Sixers -9 here, probably -9.5 if I'm being perfectly honest. So like the -7, probably would even play the 7.5, like the Sixers again here to beat up on Charlotte. What do you think, Andy?
Is it weird not betting against your team finally? You've backed Philly as a favorite a couple times, I feel like now.
It's
Are they
so this is
good?
the
Are they
second
good?
time. The last time was actually their last game. I bet them against Indiana -2. I think that was over the weekend, so we didn't talk about it. Was pretty sure Embiid would play. Looked like he was okay. About 2 hours before the game, they said he would not. Actually, it's probably earlier than that. Line flipped to Indiana -2.5. Sixers, I think, were down 20 in the third quarter. I turned the game off, played some chess with my wonderful fiance, had a few drinks, and went upstairs to bed and looked down at my phone to a bunch of goofy messages from people laughing about how the Sixers not only won, but somehow covered the 2 points, having been down third. So we'll go back to the well here. I think the Sixers are starting to really put it together. They're going to hit a soft schedule, a soft spot in their schedule here. And this Charlotte team is just a fantastic matchup for them. They really lack a lot of the things that give the Sixers trouble.
That is maybe one of my favorite things that can happen to you is shutting down a game or shutting off a. Well, I mean, I had a golf matchup where I did this over the weekend where the guy went -5 in the last 6 or 7 holes and won a matchup for me. And I just wasn't paying attention, saw it in the book, but somebody it was the Elon game. Elon last week was down by like 20. Elon, I got to find it now. A minute 32 down by 15. And that's when I shut that one off. And of course, like a follower, a friend, or somebody alerts me to it. I'm like, nah. So the best feeling is accidentally getting a win at the end like that. Sometimes the ball rolls your way, and it's honestly, it's pretty fucking awesome.
It really was quite wonderful. It was a nice end to my day.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the well here with some unders. If you follow me on the BetsBirds app, again, Alex Christensen with no space. We actually grabbed under 224 here last night, and we found a stale Houston -4.5. It turns out one book last night didn't seem to know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was out. So they had a -4.5. That number is now out to -7, which is why we're not going to talk about that. But the total grabbed under 224 last night. It moved down to 221 overnight and it's ticked back up here to 222.5, 223 some places. I'm sticking to under 223. I wouldn't go any lower here. Again, 2 just dead under teams all year. Oklahoma City, a great defensive team with no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's going to be tough for them to score. I might even honestly go back and look at maybe some OKC team total unders as well. Maybe add a little bit there. Houston's been a great defensive team. Really like the spot here for the under. So unless the Dortris goes wild tonight, Andy, I don't think we're going to see a lot of points.
I like me some Dortris. Yeah, somebody said that too. I had the 76ers last week marked as loser. Like I've done that too, where it's like I'm gonna go update my spreadsheet and I update some losers, and then you have to go back. That's maybe the best feeling is flipping one, because that's what I ended up doing with golf. I had 2 that I marked as losers with like 6 holes left. I went and played with the kids and come back and won some money. So
one more total. Phoenix and New Orleans. This is a later game tonight. Again, grabbing an under 223 here. Was able to get 224 last night. Again, would draw the line at 223 here. Two very slow-paced teams. From a matchup perspective here, I think both teams have what it takes to kind of neutralize each other's scoring pieces. I make this right around 219. So again, sticking to 223, but another slow game. I don't think we're going to see a lot of points here. Phoenix has really regressed since the beginning of the season. New Orleans just continues to get slower, and I think teams are starting to find ways to slow down Zion and those guys. I know that there's been some bad tape going around about Jackson Hayes and how bad the Pelicans defense is when he's on the floor, but hopefully his minutes are pretty limited as they have been all year. And I think we'll be able to stay under pretty comfortably here.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And then, yeah, as always, I put my stuff out on BetSperts. You can find that at Andy, just A-N-D-Y. You're Alex Christensen, no spaces. And as we mentioned yesterday, too, you follow the BetSperts contests, all one word. Follow that account. Literally just giving away $5,000 or $10,000 this weekend. I don't know where we're at. If it gets to 1,000 followers, it goes to 10,000. So make sure you're doing that before. If you're going to go on the app and check my picks or Alex's picks, just go follow that account. Literally, very easy way to put yourself in. If it gets right around 1,000 followers, having a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning 10 grand for doing basically nothing is
right. Whole minutes. It takes whole minutes, folks.
Literally like a minute.
You just open it up, click, and you're done.
Just do it. All right, golf. I didn't even make banners for this. This is not my whole card. This is something I'm still working through. I'm still kind of working on the process of when to start entering the market because certain bookmakers, I just named which bookmaker. It's Bookmaker. Chris is not opening at a very consistent time on their matchups, and sometimes their pricing is much different. I also like to see what their pricing is to know what kind of the market sentiment is on some of the things that I'm a little unsure of, but a couple I did play already. These are bets I put in just this morning. I will be adding to this. I'll tweet and I'll put it in the BetSperts feed on the app too. Anything I play in addition to this and first round bets, because I will have some first round bets for sure too. But I did play Taylor Gooch over Benny on plus 119 to lay a stroke and a half. Just, I don't know if it's his course history here. I'm not a course history guy. Benny's played well here at TPC. What is it? TPC Scottsdale, whatever they play whatever the name of the tournament here or the course down here in Arizona is at the Waste Management. I just can't get this anywhere close. Gooch it's just a more consistent putter. He has a better game. A few of the metrics I use make him clearly a few strokes better than Benny Ann. And I'm happy to lay a stroke and a half here because I think we didn't have an eject last week. I think he made the cut, and then I need a name for that. Where the guy who makes the cut and then plays so poorly through the weekend and just finds his way down to the bottom of the leaderboard. I'm not sure he was dead last, but he was darn close. He was 70 something, I believe. So Benny Ann is a fade for now going forward, especially with a guy that Gooch is someone I backed last week. I'm happy to take him again. Kim, I should have put his first name because there's multiple Kims. You're not going to find a other guy Kim matchup of Gary Woodland though. So this is C Woo Kim, all three words, SWK over Gary Woodland. This is one too where so I start looking at just who gets matched up and I put my prices to them. And I remember looking at this, I ran everything. I said, if Kim is less than like minus 115, minus 120 favorite, I'll for sure play this. And then it's even money. So a little off-putting sometimes when I'm off by that much, I guess. And I make it this big of a favorite, but they have Kim as the underdog. So I'm not, most books won't let you lay a stroke and a half. There are some that you can go find it and they'll give you a stroke and a half if you want to do it would be like in baseball, reverse money line or reverse run line, whatever you want to call it, reverse puck line. There are places to do that. I don't go too nuts with that, and limits are going to be lower on stuff like that too. So Kim over Woodland. Siwoo missed the cut last week, but it was one of those things where I don't know what to make of someone missing the cut the week after they win a tournament. I'm not saying Siwoo Kim is some big party animal. He's not Johnny Manziel, but it's a little hard to get up for a tournament right after you take down one. So I'm willing to forgive that. He is just more consistent right now. I have his ceiling very high. I'm probably going to look at some derivatives on him eventually too, maybe some top 10, top 20, because he's one of my guys. He might be a guy I use in one and done this week. Gary Woodland, he won this event again. I'm not a course history guy. I don't care how you played here. I'm more interested in your current form, how you're playing, and how you match up. So I'm fine. I'm fine fading a guy who's won here before. I don't give a shit about that. So everything about Siwoo is more consistent right now. And yeah, similar floors, much higher ceiling. And then Norlander over Cooch. Cooch is a guy I've backed in the past. I like Matt Cooch, but just not against Norlander right now. My only note on this one is putting. Can I hold Norlander back a little? I'm not too worried about it here. I want to say this was more of an approach game thing when I looked at these two. Yeah, as far as, I mean, just however far you want to go back, I'm putting Norlander as a better approach game. Better irons, less worried about hitting some of these greens. Although scrambling isn't tough here. Around the green stuff isn't tough. If you're not hitting these greens, it's not the end of the world. But a guy like this who can hit the greens, these are going to be easier to hit. I think the putting is going to drag him down less, because he can get closer to the pin on I don't want to say it's an easy course. It's going to be a weird course. Just with, we used to have, I have no idea what the number is. How many fans here? Around 16 on the grandstand and some of the other spots where they allow a lot of fans. Like, this used to be a party atmosphere. It's going to be really weird to watch this and not see, the wild drinking fans around 16 there. So, and somebody did ask, Joel has a hell of a question. Where's the Spieth fade? It's coming eventually. I'm just deciding which one to use, or maybe
baby steps. Takes time.
Yeah. So, like I said, I will have more. And see, now this is too. Says somebody says Norlander minus 1.5 plus 127. Probably not quite enough. We have done some math, and it's funny. The guest from yesterday, Frank the Brank, again, his real name, we did some discussing on how much we considered one stroke being worth as far as, win percentage. And if you're not getting, I don't want to do it in cents. When anybody who does things in cents is probably doing it the wrong way, because 10 cents from minus 110 to minus 120 is not the same as 10 cents from minus 190 to 200. You should be talking about everything in win percentages instead. But generally, right around even, the somewhere from minus 130 to plus 130, like 25 cents you need, maybe a little more. So only getting from plus 109 to plus 127, I'm not sure I'm in love with it. I'll have to run the numbers on that, and I'll have to look around if I can find that reverse. Again, this was Norlander was a dog to Kuchar, so I didn't look to find a reverse, whatever you want to call it, reverse ball line. It's puck line, run line. What do you call it in golf? We need a name.
The stroke line?
Stroke line? I don't know. That sounds filthy too.
It does. I like it. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Yeah, I did see that. So Nadu, Mr. Christian Nadu, let me know where to see it. Otherwise, that's it for now. I will be updating that, and I will tweet out my final stuff as we get into waste management. And even with all the Super Bowl stuff going on, I will be, trying to keep up on waste management, running my numbers every night. Little disappointing last week on the daily stuff, and it's such a small sample. Like, I don't know why I get mad over like 15 bets. You can't judge anything by that. But my daily stuff was not doing so well, while the full tournament stuff was trending well. Ended up 8 and 7 for just a tiny little profit on daily stuff, but the head-to-heads for the full tournament did well. That's kind of my bread and butter. Hopefully it is again this year. And club line, I like that. Club line's kind of a nice one. So, and like I did mention the Super Bowl, we will be doing on the deep dive tonight. If you guys already follow the YouTube channel, check that out. We'll have a special guest. We'll be going over a S-load of props for the big game. And with that, Alex, do you have any surprises?
No, I don't. I don't think that I have any surprises. Do I have a surprise, Andy? I'm confused.
The props, the
Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. We probably should.
No, I didn't even.
We are
tease
doing.
properly.
We are going to do a prop contest here for Brown Bag Bets. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Brown Bag Bets, as well as the BetsBirds account. Put together kind of a prop sheet for everybody to go through and pick. We're going to ask you to put in your BetsBirds app name, of course, so make sure that you are on the app. And we're figuring out a prize. I think I'm going to talk Andy into like a sweatshirt or maybe something like that. We'll see, but we'll put up a prize for that, of course, and we'll start tweeting that out. I don't know, probably this afternoon. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. But so you have a few days to do that. Again, check us everywhere on social media and the BetsBirds app as well, and we'll get that out in the world ASAP.
Yeah, if anybody's gotten involved with any of those things, like Sports Cheetah's done some of these with basketball and college football. We're going to make it real easy. Just the Google form that you have to fill out and make your choices in all the prop contests, and we will announce. Yeah, somebody will win something. I'm going to make sure somebody wins something. So that should be a lot of fun. Just a fun way to get involved. A free Geno's cheesesteak, he says. This guy knows.
Ew. I'll get you a better cheesesteak. Devs, you come to Philly, I'll get you a free cheesesteak from somewhere much better than Geno's.
I guess. I mean, if that's, I have no idea. So, quick recap before we head out for the day. Tulane plus 11. It actually does look like this one's moving against me, which spoiler alert, I didn't want to admit this too much, but I've admitted it to a few people. Like yesterday, I did bet a little bit of Eastern Kentucky -2 overnight. Woke up, saw it was +2, about had a heart attack. Never had one move that hard against me overnight in a while. So I was super glad overtime worked out a couple ways there. I'm glad everyone else got a better number than me. But Tulane is available at 11.5 at a few shops. Actually, it's like painted. So I guess I'm dead in the water there. And then Mr. Basketball, Alex Christensen himself, has the 76ers -7, Houston OKC under 223, and the Pelicans and the Suns under 223 as well. And with that, I'll see you probably tomorrow, guys.
That's right. Have a good day, everybody.
And sign up for WinBet, $1,000 risk-free bet in Michigan. Any states. Actually, some people are still sent. So somebody did ask me that. Somebody sent me a thing. Hey, can I still get a sweatshirt if I sign up in New Jersey or Colorado? I'm going there next week. Yeah, do that. Sign up. Get me your stuff. We'll see you tomorrow.